Well, let me tell you something. We, at St. Andrews, of course, one of our most famous graduates in recent years was William. That's why everybody comes here, I guess. I'm pretty sure that's why everybody comes here, exactly that reason. That and golf, because that's what everybody says. Oh, go St. Andrews, you must play golf. Of course I do. But yes, William, of course, one day will be known as the monarch, formerly known as Prince. Great day. And of course, last year he married Kate Middleton, and everybody said, oh, it's a lovely wedding. It's a lovely wedding. It was gorgeous. Pippa's ass was immaculate. It was excellent. And Pippa, of course, I don't know if you've heard, but in the news recently, she has been given a little bit of bad press because when she was in Paris recently, she was driving a car and the passenger was reportedly pointing a gun out of the window, just waving it about. Now, I have my hopes of who this person would be. There have been a lot of people speculating, who is this? Is this somebody she's dating? A lot of people have said, oh, well, you know, she and Prince Harry would be excellent together. Wouldn't that be a match made in heaven? No, I am hoping that would be somebody of, you know, highborn, somebody who's nearly royalty. A knight, maybe. I'm thinking Sir Mix-a-Lot. His baby got back. Up next, he's probably the most celebrated Humphrey Bogart impersonator in the Northern Hemisphere. It's David Spain, everybody.
So, no pressure then. Fantastic. What the fucking hell? Sorry. You can see things going wrong already. That's the one thing we don't want to happen. We've been all standing backstage in that room just going, we don't want to screw up, we don't want to screw up, we don't want to screw up. I can already see the member of the On The Rocks in the audience there going, no, David, you really don't. Oh no, you can laugh. I'm going to get home tonight, in my room, there'll be someone just sitting there screwing a cat going, this organisation does not tolerate failure, Mr. Smith. Then again, anyone who creeps into my room and waits for me is in for whatever they get, really. I haven't seen Hannah's face for a whole week. I have. David Spain's wearing it. One joke always has to go through that little bit of offensive barrier. Anyway, but no, it's fantastic. We've got venue one, which is nice, because part of doing stand-up is telling people all the interesting stories that you ever had about your life. And I come from Newcastle upon Tyne, which is a fantastic city for that. You sit in a bar somewhere just listening to conversations like the most relaxed MI6 agent there is, and you hear some of the most comedic gold ever. Perfect example of it. Oh yeah, I was at the pub last night, met this ethnic bloke. Yeah, bought me 15 bevies. Woke up, bollock naked, 3 days later, and my kidney's gone. Turned out Pargev is a member of the Armenian Mafia. Meeting him for drinks later. Way I see it, Chicky fucker rolls me a pint. But yeah, we've all got that absolutely fantastic story. Like, we've all gone out for that one night, and we're not expecting anything. We just got there and we just think, one day I'm going to go on a stage and tell this in front of an audience while the person it is about isn't actually here. So, trust me, I've been checking his Facebook all day, just going, are you coming to the gig? 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 David, for fuck's sake, no. Fantastic. Why is that fantastic? I'll tell you later. He doesn't want this story going out, which is fantastic because obviously he's not here and can't stop me. Anyway. Let's set the scene. It's a Halloween party. I'm going and I've decided I need to dress up as something less offensive than the last two costumes, so I've decided to go as the professional wrestler, which for me actually isn't a costume. So I show up, and it's quite a Christian gig at this stage. You know, there's a lot of people who are in the CU or who's just going, God bless you, and thinking in their heads, they're going to hell. But they have to say it to be nice. So anyway, I show up at this party, completely bare-chested, covered in tattoos I've drawn on in what turned out to be later permanent marker. Same with the stubble, actually. It was absolutely fantastic. And I'm just thinking, well, I don't think I'll be offending anyone dressed like this. And it turned out, by process of elimination, that I actually wasn't the one offending people that night. I don't know what you're all expecting from a Halloween party, but one thing I wasn't expecting was someone to walk through that door dressed as a gimp. And we're talking, you know, he hasn't actually gone out and got the real suit. He's got pretty low-priced gimp wear, as I believe it is called by certain experts. Just some belts slung across him. The sad thing is, I instantly knew what was going on, and I thought, that's kind of heroic. And people should have been offended. People should have been incredibly offended. But not yet they weren't. Because it turned out, through talking to them, I was the only person, apart from the guy dressed as one, who knew what a gimp was. Which put me in quite an awkward situation. Because people are still talking to the guy. Unfortunately, it was quite a good-looking girl talking to that guy, who I knew wouldn't be talking to him if she knew what he was wearing. But she saw what I was wearing, and I thought, stand much more of a chance. So just went over to someone who was chatting. We're chatting away, and she suddenly says, so, do you know what James has come dressed as? Decision time. It's a gimp suit. Not much of a decision, admittedly. Right, so what is that? Well, and honestly, at this point, you're all going through your heads. What would I say in that situation? Because my first thing was, have you ever seen Pulp Fiction? No. Right, okay, that was the only explanation for that one. So, of course, eventually I had to explain it, and unfortunately, other people have found out that I'm explaining what it is, so I've gathered quite a crowd. The funniest thing is, I'm gathering people towards me like Jesus standing on top of a mountain, and as soon as people find out, people are parting in front of him like he's a pervy Moses and they're the Red Sea. And that wasn't the most offensive part, because it turned out, like I say, he'd gone from fairly cut-price gimp wear, but if you asked me, and you know, just off the top of my head, not like I've been planning it, if I had to dress as a gimp for some strange occasion, and people had said, what would you do for the mask? I'd go, bin liner, straight off like that, not suspicious at all. Whereas this guy had gone the slightly avant-garde route of taking a permanent marker and just filling in the black. And there's some African-American gents at this party at the same time. The best bit was, he'd gone around to the party thinking to himself, Jesus, I really hope I don't get into trouble about this whole gimp suit thing. At the same time, somehow neglecting as he's, you know, blacking up. I really don't hope I run across any ethnics at this party. I went to chat to him. He still didn't know what was weird about this costume. And it's the most fantastic conversation you have to tell someone that they blacked up. So yeah, how you find the party? Yeah? I see you've gone for the topless wear. Yeah, it's good, yeah. Are those permanent markers on your nipples? Yeah, is that permanent marker on your face? Yeah, I thought it really completed the gimp look. Yeah, it does. Do you not think it makes you look a little bit black? That's the idea, not that sort of black. You see those three guys standing there looking daggers at you? Yeah? What colour are they? Shit. I've never seen anyone leave a party quicker. And the funniest thing was, there was this guy who kept coming up to me every few days and saying hi, and I had no idea who it was. It was only when I subliminally imagined him blacked up that I was able to go, James! Where have you been? I've been talking to you every single day. You were that guy. Just thought you were a bit weird at that stage. Sorry, that's kind of the funny stories you get going around. And of course, with what I do, I mean, I go to, does anyone know what Lourdes is? Education time for everybody. Basically, Lourdes is this place in France where this crazy girl said, I've seen Mary, and people said, prove it, and she went, oh, fair point. So they put her in asylum, because that's what they do with cheats in France. And finally, she just, you know, ate some grass and spoke some Latin, and they let her out. So apparently, if you're ever trying to get off on charges of, what is the plea for insanity, don't be tricked into speaking any different languages than the one you're speaking in court right there. I honestly don't know how they bring that across, but... So, Mr. McMahon, you're mad. That is correct, Your Honour, yes. I'd like you to, just correct me on this. Es caecilius in horto? No, caecilius est in metella. Put him to jail. So anyway, she speaks Latin, she gets out scot-free. Apparently now Mary's appeared. And we go to this place and we take sick people there and they're all wheelchair bound, not quite right upstairs. Have you ever heard that expression, if you can't laugh, what can you do? In Lourdes, it's dribble and piss yourself, apparently. Which is not what I usually do on holidays while I'm single. Anyway, we're there, and me and my cousin get there. My cousin's the most wonderful person in the world. Practically everything he even thinks of has to go through the thought process. Will this annoy David? Turns out the committee think it will. Better do it. Pretty much the level of sophistication we're talking about with my cousin here. Anyway, we're in Lourdes and we're there thinking, oh, we're going to mop up that piss. We're going to wheel those sick people to places they don't even want to go. Where are we going, Robin? To the Batcave! So anyway, we're in Lewis, and this nice little nurse woman comes up to us and says, right, she's from Newcastle, you two are the oldest people here that we've got, so you're going to have to be pretty responsible for all the younger ones. And we didn't say anything, but we had plans. We imagined exactly how we were going to line little fuckers up. All right, Lewis, there's going to be some changes around here. We've been using wine for the blood of Christ for quite a while. How many of you ever heard of absinthe? Turns out we couldn't do that. Turns out we couldn't actually do that much. Apparently being responsible actually means you get a lot more shit jobs. One of the shit jobs in question just so happens to be the candle. And I will explain what the candle is. The candle is a large white structure made of wax with liquid. Imagine my height then, pretty much double it. That's the size we're talking about. Imagine my width, that's the size of the candle we're talking about. They went, we need you to carry the candle for the priest boys. And we thought, oh, we've been in Catholic Church for quite a while, we know what that means. No, we mean actually carry the candle. He called it that too as well. Go to hell. But it's funny, every time I make a joke like that, the cross burns. That's the funny thing about being Catholic, actually. I was at that party, I was as Christian as the rest of them, just really bad at it. And it was, the girl came up to me and just said, we're all Christians, yeah? And you're a Christian, yeah? So how did you know what a gimp suit was? And you could see he was fishing for a story at this stage. It was terrible, because I'd had a few drinks, so all I could do was turn to her and say, please, I'm Catholic, I used to have to wear one. I'm allowed to make that joke. It's the one bit of solace you can have as an abused altar boy. Every cloud has a silver lining. I can go on stage and go, priests are perverts. So anyway, there we are in Lewis, this big white fucker standing in front of us with a candle. And we, boys, we're going to have to need you to carry the candle all the way from this hotel to that place. Why didn't you get the truck to drop it off at that place? Well, then you'd have nothing to carry. Yeah, fair point. So there we are, and we arrive, myself and Joseph, and I'm quite a big guy, and my cousin isn't. And they looked at us and said, no one's ever done it with two people before. Not that malevolently, I don't know why. They're the people working for On the Rocks. This organisation does not tolerate failure, Mr. O'Brien. Don't know why I call myself Dara O'Brien, fuck me. I've had 2 drinks. Anyway, so they say, no one's ever done it with 2 people before. That's mad, that's more the tone we're going for. That's mad, you'll never do it, it's impossible. And my cousin looked at me and said, they're probably right. And I didn't hear him, because I was looking at that candle, hearing one word repeated in my head over and over again. And that word was, yes. So we got that candle on our shoulders and instantly regretted every single decision. But we can't put it down now. We've got to walk those 3 miles to the church. So we're walking. And the interesting thing about this candle is it's no ordinary candle. It's holy and shit, but that's not the main thing. It's got little plaster models of Mary, the mother of Jesus, on it. And Mary's head's on my shoulder. And unfortunately, my cousin's a bit taller than me, and the road is bumpy. And of course, at one point, my cousin trips, and I don't. And I hear a snap. And of course, your first thought is, shit, that's my shoulder. And your second thought is, it would definitely be better for me if that was true. Because at this point, I can see the head falling. In very slow motion Matrix mode, just going, looking at me, just going, why? Which was a shock in itself. Head's falling. You know how sometimes, we're walking while doing this, we're fair booking it. I mean, we've been sent the wrong place twice at this stage. We arrived at the actual right place. And there's this one Spanish priest sitting there smoking a roll, just going, English? No, it's not here. It's on the other side. Alright, fair enough, didn't question him. You don't fuck with Father Hernandez, obviously. Looks like he sells drugs to altar servers in his spare time. That's how they get them. But, so no, we went, oh, he's probably right. Turn around, walk back the other way. What are you guys doing here? This isn't where the candle's supposed to be. Who told you that? Padre Hernandez. There's no such man. Turns out an old man had gotten priest robes, fucked us up. So we turned around. Actual story. Not fucked us up like that. I know it's Catholic Church, but I'm a bit too old for it now. So anyway, we turn the entire thing around, go back. This is where the head thing happens. And we're still walking because we're thinking, we're going to drop the candle. We're already dropping bits of it. And you know when your body just sort of moves on pure automatic and you have nothing to do with it? As the head's falling, I'm performing this action. And you'll know when the instinct has suddenly kicked in as I walk. Walk, snap. Manage. I'm not good at football at all. I'm not an alpha male kind of guy. I managed to hoof that thing a good 30 feet. It lands in a gutter. So let's review this fact. I managed to decapitate the Virgin Mother of Jesus. And then as the head's falling, I think I could catch it. No, it needs to fly. Look at that go. The priests haven't noticed. They've just thought I've been doing some kind of strange thrusting exercise as carrying this holy symbol. The tourists watching, as there are tourists watching, think, oh, it's all part of the show. So anyway, we get to Mass, and we have to sit there in the front row, like you guys are, staring at a headless Mary. There's a priest. Imagine this is the candle, the priest standing literally here, on the same height as Mary. It gets worse. We then have to lift the candle up again, hiding the fact that Mary is, for some reason, doesn't have a head. A little bit shorter now. And we have to present it to the bishop. Nice guy, Seamus. And we didn't think this would be awkward until we realised what height Mary's on. Mary's eye to eye with Bishop Seamus. Or she would be. And what made this entire scene was my mum standing on the sidelines taking photos of every single step I'm taking. And I went on my Facebook, and for some reason my mum joined Facebook just to put on the thing, I'm so proud of you. And there's 3 comments underneath going, David decapitated the Virgin Mary, David decapitated the Virgin Mary, your son's going to hell! And the funny thing is, I'm actually going to help that, because I can't go to confession and so what have you been, what the fuck that was. So my priest has a speech impediment, swears a lot as well. So what have been your sins, my son? Well, funny story. You may have seen my stand-up, no, I'll have to tell the story again, fantastic. And confessions, wait, I can't go to that because the priest's not going to go, have you tried saying a Hail Mary? Yeah, she didn't call back, head was off. You can't go to confession and say, what did you do? Oh, you know, imagine Mary's here, I'm here. I'm afraid for you, the war is over. The priest's not going to forgive the sins no matter how many prayers I say. I'm going to hell whatever I say, so I prefer to save myself the embarrassment. And confession's weird enough already when you're sitting in a box with a possible child molester who's wearing a dress. And the first words you have to say to said dress-clad child molester are, Father, I've been a bit of a naughty boy. It's been a pleasure talking to you. Thanks very much. Good night.